Welcome everyone to the 29th International Racquetball Federation Junior World Championship. I'm Laura McCormick and I'm here with Dr. Timothy Baghurst, and we are now watching the girls 16 and under singles featuring Cassie Prentice from Canada and Nikita Chauhan from USA.
Well, this could be another great match. Always love watching the USA-Canada. Canada do bring some quality players every year. Both of these players have competed at the Junior World Championships before, so they're no strangers to the big stage. And a good start from the Canadian. It'll be an interesting matchup. Cassie tends to be a power player, hits it hard. Sometimes a little wildly, so we'll see really how she manages to control herself. Second serve. Player gets two serves unless they hit something other than the front wall first, and it's an automatic side out.
Nice down the line from Cassie. Side out.
See, on the left side, we have two glass panels. That creates all kinds of problems when balls cross there. I like to call it the Bermuda Wall because the ball really just vanishes. And what some players have been doing is hitting a jam serve that hits about where those people are watching, around their shoulder head height. It just vanishes.
Big skip from Cassie. Still 0-0 in game one.
See the coaches on the right side representing the United States, on the left. That's a confident shot. Took it early.
Sounds like it's 2 serving 0. Another point for Cassie. Canada leading now 3-0.
We're in the 16s, which means that they potentially could have been playing at this Junior World Championship for 5, 6, maybe even 7 years. And so they have a wealth of experience to bring. You know, you think, well, it's a Junior World Championship, so they must be novices. They must, you know, not be able to handle themselves. But a lot of them are more experienced than many other adult players.
Especially at an event like this in terms of pressure and team environment, having your family there. Although I would like to see more junior tournaments for players to get practice at playing in a tournament style. Because, I mean, how many matches do you think on average a player is playing at an event like this, Tim?
Well, typically, if you're playing just in singles, you're looking at 1 match a day. If you're playing singles and doubles, then you're going to be playing in the morning probably for singles and then in the evening for doubles, and that kind of reflects our schedule for the day, where we're starting with singles and moving through doubles this evening. And so it's a very different environment to what you might traditionally see in a tournament where you're playing 3, 4 matches in a day for 2 or 3 days. It's a different kind of environment. You have to be able to get away from the courts, get ready for your next match, play your 1 match with as much intensity as possible, and get ready for the 3, 4, 5 days that you have to compete. And it's mentally, it's just different. It's a long tournament. And if you're not familiar with this, it can wear you down, not necessarily physically, but more mentally. Yeah,
especially at these young ages. An event that started on Sunday, November 5th and goes all the way to Saturday, November 11th. If there's a first point for Nikita, it's 1 serving 4. You're watching USA and Canada.
Well, you can see Nikita picking on the backhand side of the Canadian, but Cassie responded well. Her first return wasn't that great, but that last one was. Started the better. He has to continue with this.
One serving 4.
Good shot. You notice, though, the shot before that, she took it so high. Sometimes that's just the comfort zone of not being willing to get down and hit it low. And she got away with it in this situation. Let's see if the American can change the momentum here. Right now, Canada leading. Changing the serve. That's a good cross-court shot. Caught the Canadian unawares.
2 serving 4. Look at a second serve.
Well, there's an example of that poor return. You saw how high it was. Came up off the back wall, and Nikita able to take it around the service box, which is where you want to win most of your points. You don't want to be in the back of the court trying to win those. Again, if you look at where Cassie was, she's up by the encroachment line. Much better chances to be successful there as opposed to back in the glass, the back. Serving 4. It's been a slow start to this match, considering we've already gained 7 points. Change of serve. Got her a skip. Tied it up.
4-4.
A half step slow on that return. Let's see if Cassie does something different here. Be a replay. But the avoidable hinder is always an interesting discussion. And in that situation, the IRS rules state that it's a straight shot to the front wall. And so a lot of people's tremendous shot there. A lot of people think it has to be, quote unquote, an offensive opportunity. That's not really what the rule states. What you saw in that replay, Cassie was hitting up. It was a defensive kind of push it back to the court, front wall, therefore a replay.
For anyone that wants clarification on the International Racquetball Federation rules, you can check them out at internationalracquetball.com. Side out for Nikita.
And also go to the website if you're interested in the draws and scores and updates of who's playing who. That's updated regularly. Go to event, live event, and the link to the draws are all there. Bit scrappy. That's the kind of point that neither player wants to lose.
Five serving 6. Second serve. A lot of energy here at the Lifetime Fitness in Minneapolis. A lot of kids, a lot of events. These kids seem to have endless amounts of energy.
They do. They're all around us all day, often spending a lot of time with other teammates, but also other countries, and that's been really fun to see. You know, they go on the court, they want to win, they want to represent their families and friends and country, but then off the court they spend a lot of time together. And I spoke to, for example, to Gabby Martinez from Guatemala yesterday, who we'll be seeing later today, and she said this is her favorite tournament of the year because she gets to see her friends again.
And there's a lot of downtime. We mentioned most of these players, if you're playing one event, you have one match per day. Most of these players are also playing doubles, and so you're here cheering on your teammates, you're waiting for your next match. And it's nice that there's so many activities here at Lifetime for these kids, in addition to the Junior World Championship.
Cassie with the backhand splat, hit herself a side out. It's a very close game one. Great pickup off the back ball. And she puts it down, does the Canadian. Brings a .75. Cassie's hitting a lot of sidewalls while trying to pass. You can just go straight. Nikita will be in trouble. Nikita hits a lot straighter, but doesn't seem to have the power that the Canadian has. Good return.
5 serving 7.
Nikita looked to her coach there. Check a serve. Changes it.
Good reach.
You'll want that one back. A big skip from the American. Often in situations like this, when I imagine neither player feels like they're playing their best, it's the one who skips the most that loses. So that could be a goal when you're going into a match like this. I'm not playing great, so I'm going to make my opponent beat me. And so I'm not going to beat myself by putting the ball on the floor.
Yeah, that can be so crucial for your mental game too. I feel like we're starting to see a little bit disappointment in Nikita's body language. She's calling a timeout. Let's see if she can switch things up here in a little bit of the break. She's down 5-8 now in game one.
And one of the things that happened this week was an executive committee meeting with the International Racquetball Federation, where they decided a lot of the events that are happening next year. And there are a lot of events in which the IRF is involved. Some of them are multi-game events, and some of them are actually produced by the IRF. So I wanted to at least give you an update of where we're at. Our Pan American Championship, which are pure racquetball, will be held in Chile from the 23rd to the 31st of March. South American Games will be in Bolivia from the 28th of May to the 3rd of June. The Central American and Caribbean Games will be held in Colombia from the 24th to the 30th of July. The World Championships, we've been waiting a long time to find this one out. 10th to the 18th of August in China. The Senior World Championship will be held at the end of August in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then the Junior World Championships will be the 2nd through the 10th of November, with the location to be determined. Usually determined around the Pan American Championship.
And for those of you that want more details on the schedule, we'll get that up on internationalracquetball.com. Of course, we'll make sure we check that against other calendars so we can plan accordingly. Nikita calling that timeout, opening up with the serve.
So a point earned by the American on that avoidable hinder. Cassie was in the way.
6-8, point for Nikita.
And an ace. The serve. So Nikita in that position he has 2 different serves, and you've seen it. 3 different serves.
Ooh, another ace.
Bermuda glass. So a drive to the right, a drive to the left, and a Z serve. So it creates some doubt in the Canadian as to what he's going to do.
Yeah, I like this strategy from Nikita, and it's really changed since that timeout. She scored 3 points since the timeout.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, she kind of hit that ball right back to Cassie in the center. There was no guesswork from Cassie.
And that's where I think Cassie could have held up and got that avoidable hinder. Sometimes, though, referees, they're all different. Even though the rules are there, the interpretation is always a little different. And maybe she didn't want to take the risk of getting that call. Our official today, Jaime Martel from Mexico. We appreciate all the officials that are here giving their time and effort. There's that jam serve that I mentioned earlier in game 1 and how advantageous it can be if you hit it right.
Gotten Cassie 2 points, 10-8. I'd like to see less balls coming back to the center. I feel like they're both really hitting the ball back into the center, and I feel like they could gain more by hitting those lines and hitting the corners.
Oh, wow, that was tough. Yeah, they're both a little nervy, you feel. They're just not hitting clean shots. Cassie hasn't been able to hit it down the line on the right side very well at all in this match. It seems almost more comfortable on the backhand side, you see there.
There we go, moving around. Well, 12-8.
We've talked about how mental sports are, how mental racquetball can be, and I think we're seeing it here. Both of these players can hit terrific shots in practice, but when it really counts and you have to make that point, can you do it? And again, that starts with mental toughness and knowing that you have the confidence to do it.
Another timeout from Nikita. That's her second in game 1. It's 13-8. Cassie leading from Canada. I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsors for bringing the International Racquetball Federation Junior World Championship here to Minneapolis. Of course, starting with Lifetime Fitness, our host of the event at the Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Penn, the official ball of the IRF. eForce, you want to win?
Or what?
And FixMyRacket.com, Rollout Racquetball, who did the event t-shirts, and Reaching Your Dream Foundation. So thank you to all the sponsors. It's fantastic to be actually having the first Junior World Championship in Minnesota, or excuse me, in Minneapolis. This is the first time they've been in Minneapolis.
That's right, and we haven't been in the United States for an IRF event in 2012 in Los Angeles, so it's great to be back here. And I know a lot of the international athletes and parents and coaches were excited to come to the U.S. because most of these tournaments over the last few years have been held in Central South America.
13-8, Cassie serving, Nikita calling that timeout. See if she can regain her mental focus. Nikita's last timeout worked for her. That's what brought her up to 8 points, but she's been struggling a little bit since then.
And that's the side I think she's been struggling with the most, the forehand side. And she skipped a couple over on that side, seems to be struggling to get over to that side, and really that's the difference here. Prentice cleaned up her game, less skip, and really controlling these points with a good serve to start.
Game point for Cassie.
Replay called. See the value of that jam serve, though. It's so hard to pick up on that glass. You can see everybody standing behind it, all kinds of colors and movement. Really tricky.
Error from the Canadian, which means Nikita will jump back into the service box. 8 serving 14.
Going to a lob serve. High lob D to the backhand. And there's that. Seems more comfortable on the backhand, and a little fist pump from Nikita. She gets a point. She needs to focus on just 1 point at a time right now rather than the fact game point down.
You could see her coach there off to the right, David Bobby Horn, giving her the serve call.
And she handled that very well. And you can start to see some emotion in her behavior, some fist bumps, some come-ons.
Those timeouts have been so important for Nikita and kind of getting a new mental focus. Both times now she's come back much stronger from the timeout, but she's exhausted her timeouts for game one. Look at that.
Well, I think Canada needs to take a timeout here.
3 points for Nikita, a timeout from Canada, as predicted by Dr. Timothy Baghurst. We do have lots more matches streaming for the rest of the day. We'll work on getting that schedule up online. We fly a little loose here. But there is streaming of the quarterfinals all day today. And then tomorrow on Friday, we have the semifinals. That's another 8 or 9 matches streaming tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we'll finish with the finals. And we're streaming both singles and doubles. So generally what you'll see is for most of the morning and early afternoon, it's singles, ranging from, 10 and under to 18 and under. And then in the afternoon, same idea, but for doubles.
Yeah, and there's definitely a contrast between singles and doubles in racquetball. And good singles players don't always translate into good doubles players.
Yeah,
and
I've seen that.
That's why you see some different players in doubles. We'll see a lot of the same players, of course, because they're terrific players. But you'll also see some others who may not be so successful in singles competing in doubles through the final.
So Nikita's serving. It's 11-14.
Still can't hit straight down the line. That was nervy.
So that timeout not working for Canada. USA scores a point. It's 12-14.
Is picking on this backhand. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so soft, makes the front wall and gives Nikita her 13th point.
A smile from the Canadian. Needs to regroup. 13-14. And a huge skip over on the left side. Canada will take their second and final timeout.
You know, we've talked about how teams maybe don't always utilize their timeouts all the way through. Some of them save it for the end. This is a good timeout for Cassie at 14-14. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the last points here where Nikita had that really soft touch up at the wall.
And she just flicked her wrist.
There it is.
It was really tough coming off that glass. And Prentice, Cassie, should have been a little more alert to knowing that, you know, she's stuck. She has to do something rather than I'm going to be able to hit this as hard as I can. It's just a flick of the wrist. So move up a little bit to try and prepare to receive something. In the end, though, it was actually a very, very effective shot. And we've seen this change in momentum, right? Cassie was up 14-11. Now it's 14-14. Game point for the American.
Yes,
Let's see if she can take it.
I love to see this. These girls had a slow start to their match, and now we're at 14-14 in game one.
And she did it. Wow. So, game point Canada. Game point saved by the United States. Went on a great run. Took 4 points in a row to take this 15-14 what great matches we've had on this morning already.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens in game 2 after a start like this for game 1. This is the girls 16 and unders featuring Cassie Prentice and Nikita Chauhan. We'll be back with more of the girls 16 unders at the Junior World Championship in Minneapolis in just a moment. We're back at the 29th International Racquetball Federation Junior World Championship. I'm Laura McCormick, and I'm joined by Dr. Timothy Backhurst. We're jumping into game 2 of our 16 and under singles girls match. Nikita Chauhan winning game 1 15-14 after coming back from a couple deficits. And she's playing against Cassie Prentice from Canada.
So we talked about how sports are a mental game in many respects, and what we saw at the end of that first game was all mental, and it's carrying into game 2. The fact that the Canadian lost that first game can be psychologically really tough, and she needs to refocus and just remember that she was the one in the lead and that she should be in the lead in this second game if she plays the way she can play. But again, if I'm looking at the way Cassie's playing on her forehand, she's not able to hit down the right side clean.
Right, we haven't seen much clean shots, so they keep coming back to the center.
Right, so for Nikita, you know, cover that left side right here. That's tough. Cover that left side, cover the middle, and worry less so about that right side. If I'm the Canadian coaches, that's where I want to hit it, because that's where Nikita seems to have struggled to retrieve balls. There's a great example.
Ace serve from Cassie. Tied up 2-2 in game 2.
So I like this from Cassie. Settles down. She was down 0-2. Raising the racket really just allows you to make sure you're ready to play. Left a bit wild. Wow. Got a little lucky. She'll take it for a side out. But again, everything seems to be played down the middle or left side of this court this morning.
Looks like it'll be a second serve. Just going for Nikita's backhand.
There. That's what she needs to do.
And she kind of scooped it too. I mean, she got really low. We were talking about how earlier, you know, she wasn't getting as low on some of those balls, and look what getting low can do for you.
For sure. It wasn't pretty in terms of technique, but it was the accuracy of the shot that got her that point.
Oh.
And that was nice to see. Cassie appreciating Nikita's shot, gave her a good shot signal with the racket.
One thing we love, right, is good sportsmanship.
Absolutely.
It's part of the IRF Code of Conduct.
And we see a lot of it here.
Got to teach them young. Point for Nikita. That's going to tie it up 3-3.
Cassie's being very aggressive off this serve return. Although that's a great serve. And that's clean hitting. Good serve, poor return, punished. That's textbook racquetball, 3-shot rally.
4 serving 3.
It's a much better shot. You saw how much lower that was than the previous effort that she took on the short hop. Short hop being it's bouncing up and you're hitting into it. Picking on that forehand side. This is a good second game. 4-4.
Yeah, I feel like they shook off some of those nerves and they had a slow start in game one and they picked up with that kind of matched intensity and matched momentum going into game two. We saw Nikita with a bit of a comeback at the end of game one. She was down 11-14 and she was able to come back and win 15-14. Skip. Another point for Cassie. Canada leads 5-4. Smooth execution from the American.
You have the feeling that if one player can go on a run with 3 or 4 points, they can gain that momentum. That's a nervy swing. She got it.
Yeah, she stays aggressive on it.
And again.
Good D.
And there's an example of that court hinder. You see the glass on the left. It's slightly indented into the wall. And so there's an edge there between the glass and cement. And if it hits that, the official can call a court hinder, which is one of the IRF rules. There are no designated court hinders, but it allows the official to call a court hinder when and if they see it.
So it's at the discretion of the referee. There are 14 referees at this event this weekend. We appreciate each and every one of them.
They do a tremendous job.
We all know it's a tough job.
Yeah, you know, I was a referee for 5 years, and I can attest to the many hours spent refereeing. And, you know, whatever call you make when it's a 50-50, 50% are going to be unhappy with it. And you just have to do the best you can. And if you're going to make mistakes, it's because you're going to make mistakes. You can't referee perfectly all the time. And transitioning to professional referees. Oh, she got that.
She got that on the second.
First one was a fake, Laura, right?
Yes, we've seen that at the pro level. I'm happy to see it at such a young age. They're working on that.
Well, good for her, right? She missed it.
Yeah, and she stuck with it.
She stuck with it, and she earns herself the opportunity to serve. Again, that's where she's winning the points, is on that forehand side. This is where I'd like to see her serve that serve that she did earlier to the right. Good serve, jam serve. You saw how it came across her body and caught Nikita unawares. I've seen the Costa Ricans doing that a lot. Their coaches have really been working on that, and I suspect practiced it before the tournament. Players have a couple of days to practice on the courts, get used to them, get familiar with them, because every court is slightly different.
So this event technically started on Sunday, November 5th, but as you're talking about, Tim, a lot of coaches and players got here on Wednesday or Thursday when the courts were open for practice, and everyone is getting much more familiar now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the textbook play from Nikita. Nope, sorry, that was not the textbook one. That was an ace serve from Cassie Prentice.
Guided it down the right side. She'd been going consistently to the backhand, changed it up, and just caught Nikita looking the wrong way. Half step slow, couldn't put it down.
Clean execution there from Nikita.
And she's stepping into that to hit it, as opposed to sometimes players pull back as they're hitting.
Jumping back into game two after that timeout, Cassie leads 8-5.
And a
good side out.
And it was a good timeout. Rough statistics, but about 3 out of 4 timeouts result in a rally won by the person taking the timeout.
Second serve for USA. So we see Nikita going after Cassie's backhand, and you mentioned earlier that Cassie seems to be going after Nikita's forehand.
Well, the backhand is, for Cassie, seems to be something that she's uncertain what to do. And so she skipped a lot. She's given a lot of free points to Nikita off that lob serve. And there, of course, the ball just cracked out. It's almost as if, again, that backhand, she's getting frustrated. Come on, she says. You know, this is going to be where it's won or lost. If Cassie can play well on that backhand, if Nikita can play well on the forehand, we're going to have a very, very tight match.
It's pretty tight right now at 8-8.
Long rally. Really long rally.
Get it.
Finally, Cassie puts it down on the forehand side.
Definitely the longest rally for these girls out there right now. 8-8. Cassie will serve. Another good jam from Cassie. Gets her a point.
And a rally like that you win, and we saw it in our first match, didn't we, Laura? If you win that long rally, it can give you some momentum that carries you on through the next 2 or 3 points.
Absolutely.
Well, that wasn't a great jam serve, and Cassie was standing right in the way, got hit, an avoidable hinder called. Side out. Excellent shot. Caught Cassie over on the right side. Knew it. Hit it down the left side. We're all tied.
Yeah, this has been a great game too. We saw things really start to turn around, you know, towards the end of game 1, and they've just kept it full power in game 2.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe not the best choice to try to cut that one off.
So if I'm coaching Cassie, what I would do is I would slow it down right now and allow Nikita to think a little bit about that. Just to make her remember that mistake for a little longer rather than, oh no, let's get on with the next point.
So really playing that mental game, huh? Point for Canada. 10-9.
You can see our crowd. This is a packed house. You can see everybody down the glass on the left side. Everybody loves drama. It doesn't matter what age. We've had 10-year-olds flying around to packed crowds.
That's right.
We're looking for a tiebreaker here as a neutral.
Cassie almost got hit there in the back, but in her avoiding that ball, she lost that rally.
And it's good to see her laughing it off rather than beating herself up for it.
Short serve. Nikita will serve a second serve, 9-10. That's going to tie it up again. They were tied at 8-8, 9-9, and now 10-10.
As well as 2-2 and 4-4. It's incredible how close this match is. Oh my goodness. A little bit of luck there from the Canadian, but she'll take it. 5 points away from taking this to a tiebreaker. Look at her smile at her coaches. Not a good serve. got punished with a good return. Let's go, says the American.
Nikita's coach, Bobby Horn, telling her to serve to that backhand. She'll get a second serve.
That was a different return, wasn't it? Went around the world, so you're hitting a sidewall, front wall, the other sidewall back. We're still at 10-10. See, I'd like to see her hit that drive serve to the right again. Well,
she sticks with that jam in the middle. It's working for her.
Created a poor return. But look at that. That's a tough shot.
And again, we see that good sportsmanship, right? Cassie giving Nikita a little bit of a pat. Got to give props when it's good, right?
I think another point, and the Canadian will take a timeout. Nikita 4 points away from this match. Can she close it in 2?
Cassie keeps it up.
And the difference between that rally was the difference in the approach. The American hitting with precision, controlling the point. Canada, not so much, playing more defense, pushing it back, and as a consequence, as I predicted, good timing. Canada take that timeout. It's 12-10 in favor of the American.
Take a look back at that last point.
You can see there a push. And so Cassie's forced to respond to play defense, which is exactly what Nikita wants to do. Stand in the middle, push her opponent around the court.
Now 11 was a magic number, it seemed, for Nikita in game 1. She was down 11-14 and she came back to win 15-14. Now we're seeing her with one of the bigger leads we've seen so far. As we mentioned, these girls have been tied throughout this entire match, so a 2-point lead is pretty hefty right now at this point in the match.
Yeah, this is going to be mental. U.S. has the momentum. Nikita wants to close this out in 2. It was an excellent timeout from Canada. Let's see if it worked.
12 serving 10. Nikita serving.
Wow. What a serve at what a time. 13-10.
You said it's going to come down to mental focus, and that is a perfect example of the mental focus from the American. 13-10.
Oh, no. That was a really poor shot from Cassie, and she got away with it.
That's tough because that ball was so high. You could almost see Nikita not sure how she's going to handle that. That ball is going to hit so close to that front wall. Well, she gets a side out. Another lucky shot from Cassie. See if she can capitalize on it.
Always going cross court. That forehand always goes cross court. There's an advantage if you pick that up. Nikita can anticipate and go left because she's got to go either left or right when it's a setup like that. If I know consistently my opponent wants to do that, I can go cover that side, and maybe she has a better opportunity to return that ball.
11-13.
Wow.
I mean,
where has that forehand been?
Beautiful. 12-13.
A great camera angle to see that kill shot.
Good time to bring it out. Unbelievable.
A fist pump from Cassie. We're tied at 13-13. So much drama. U.S. Probably a good timeout here. Let's see if it helps, as we're all square. 2 points away from a tiebreaker. 2 points away from a match. Such drama.
Unbelievable. I love to see it, and it just really, I mean, the theme for this weekend is intensity and emotion, and that's what we're getting here today.
And we're going to have it all day, so I hope you don't go anywhere, because this is just the start of the quarterfinals.
Just the beginning. Take a look back. Those last points. Nikita, just beautiful execution there. You can see the crowd, lots of Team USA back there, cheering her on.
From Robbie Collins sitting next to Bobby. Both of them are assistant coaches for the U.S. team. Over to your right, you can see Corey Osborne, the assistant coach for Team Canada, who is coaching Cassie today. So let's see if it works. 13-13. Oh my goodness. So exciting.
And this is our second match of the day. We still have six or seven more matches that we'll be live streaming. So make sure you guys share with your friends that you're watching International Racquetball Federation Junior World Championship.
Down the line, good pickup though.
Keeps it alive.
Oh man, huge skip above the shoulder. Great timeout from the American.
Yeah, she gets just what she wants out of that. She breaks some of the momentum that the Canadian had found. Cassie had scored, 2 points there. It's now or never for Nikita. 13-13. She could win the match here. 2 more points for the American.
And
she
an
gets
error.
One.
An error. One more. 14-13. Match point number 1. This is the serve where she can hit 3 different ones. And there it is. Prentice, Cassie. 2 skips to finish this match.
What a competitive match for our girls 16 and under. Nikita Chauhan winning 15-14, 15-13.